Mr. Speaker, we get into politics for a reason. And when I first put my name forward to run in 2019, there is things that you stand for and believe in. Things like putting Canada first, no matter what the circumstances. Things like ensuring that you are always going to put your country first when it comes to the deliberations in this place, when it comes to your actions. And Mr. Speaker, that is why I am so proud to stand with Danielle and stand with my family and offer my seat, to offer to resign my seat to Pierre Poilievre, the leader of Canada's Conservatives, because that man, I truly believe, is the right man to lead this party, to be the leader of the opposition in this Parliament. And Mr. Speaker, my belief before and my belief remains today that Pierre Poilievre is the right man to be Prime Minister of Canada. And Mr. Speaker, I would ask the people who overwhelmingly put their trust in me in Battle River Crowfoot. I was honored to receive more than 80% of the vote. An incredible, I think, affirmation of not just myself, Mr. Speaker, because politics should never be about oneself, unlike what so many of the Liberals make it about. Politics needs to be about doing what's best for your country. So for the people of Battle River Crowfoot, you put your trust in me. I have a simple request to all of you. I would ask that you trust me as I ask you in this upcoming by-election to put your trust in Pierre Poilievre and elect him as the Member of Parliament for Battle River Crowfoot for the remainder of this Parliament, as he will fight for you in rural East Central Alberta, and as he fights to represent Canadians, the common sense vision that so many Canadians, in fact, many Canadians put their trust in for the first time in this election. More than 8 million Canadians voted Conservative in this last election. More than 41% of the population voted Conservative in the last election. So to the people of Battle River Crowfoot, you trusted me. I'm asking you to trust me once again as I ask you to support Pierre Poilievre as he runs in an upcoming by-election in Battle River Crowfoot. Mr. Speaker, our country faces significant challenges that require real action and a real plan. We face a national unity crisis. It is not something that can simply be flippantly dismissed by those in other parts of the country that would suggest that Alberta, for example, should simply pay up and shut up. No, I'm sorry. That is not what Alberta should do. Alberta deserves a fair voice in the Federation, just like every province. I heard earlier as a new colleague from Newfoundland had a similar sentiment. I've heard the same thing as I've spoken with colleagues from every region of our country. There is challenges that our nation faces, and it deserves more than platitudes and a decade of the same failed ideology that got us into the disastrous position we find ourselves in now. And Mr. Speaker, as this is a debate on the throne speech, as I listened to the throne speech, it was an interesting mix of things, because you had a co-opting of some of our ideas for political benefit, but at the very root of it, you see that the Liberals are simply the same old ideologues that we have seen for the last decade, that have eroded trust in our institutions, that have held back our economy, that have shut down our resources, that have told Canadians that their voices, their freedoms, and who they are as people doesn't matter. So, Mr. Speaker, as I shared this decision, this offer a number of weeks ago, and as over the last number of weeks spoken with Canadians from coast to coast to coast about this, I see so clearly how the vision that Conservatives brought forward with leader Pierre Poilievre in the last election proposes the solutions that truly our country needs. And Mr. Speaker, as I stand here to offer my farewell address, I look to a Conservative team. In fact, I had said earlier that it's incredible. I look back to the class of 2019, and the class of 2025 is pretty incredible. There's a depth of talent in this team that we should and can be proud of. But, Mr. Speaker, I know this team will do incredible things. And I look forward to being able to champion the cause from outside the House in the interim. And I do to my constituents, the many of whom who have asked whether or not this is me retiring from politics. And the simple answer is no, I don't plan to retire from politics. But I am stepping aside to ensure, thank you, to ensure that this by-election gets triggered. But, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude my remarks, I would simply say this, to conclude where I started, with a note of thanks, a note of reflection, and a note of humility. One is driven by things in one's life. There's things in their heart that drive them. You know, I think of my faith, the fact that Jesus is my Lord and Savior, the fact that there is foundational beliefs that were taught to me by my dad, my mom, and family members, my grandparents, my grandpas who aren't with me any longer. That there is so much that we have to be proud of in this country. So, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude and as Danielle and I move on to what is a bit of an unexpected chapter of our lives, I would ask each and every person in this House, fight for Canada, fight for what's right, and do so boldly and strongly, because that's the least we can do for the people that send us here. Thank you.